So this is Three Married Ladies podcast, and this is our 5th episode. Yay! Woo, woo, woo! We are doing it. We got a hot topic today, y'all. We're going to give our opinions about open marriages. And we also have a guest named Jay, who's actually in an open marriage, and he's going to give us his opinion as well. I'm going to start out with Jay, and just introduce yourself, and tell us as much as you want about, yourself and how you feel is going with your open marriage.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am glad to be invited to speak to you all on this platform about a very sensitive subject that's for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to give you a little background, you're welcome. A little bit of background on myself is that this is my second marriage. I do have adult children, I have grandchildren. I belong to a large family. And in our first marriage with my wife, we got married young and we were married for about 10 years.
How young?
And we got married at 20.
Oh, yeah, that's young.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got married at 20, and I think that happened it was more so out of things that happened in your life that forced two people that were hurt and struggling and seeking together versus you just organically meeting someone and connecting. You understand what I'm saying?
Sounds like something that Mr. Selfie talks about called trauma bond. But go ahead, I'm sorry, Jay.
No, that's good. You just taught me something. I can use that. But it wasn't all bad. We both had a lot to learn. We learned a lot from it. And we got married in '87. And this year is 2021. We share 2 kids and 6 grandkids. And guess what? We're BFFs. And actually, my ex-wife is the one that performed my recent marriage.
Oh, she married you? Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
That is so amazing.
So this is getting gooder and gooder, right?
Yes. Keep it going.
That's what mature women do.
Yeah.
Indeed. And with my current marriage, it's been 3 years.
Okay.
But we've known each other prior for 13 years.
Oh, okay.
Dang, Jay, we got a lot in common here. Numbers. Besides open marriage, I'm not there yet, but besides that, in numbers, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. Okay. And that was because at the time I wasn't sure what I wanted all of those years ago.
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions for myself and about myself. And right now, my spouse, I met him right out of the academy.
Okay.
Well, it got real deep now, right?
Yeah.
We still here.
Got some wine or something, some shot.
Sipping on tea, honey.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, so we became friends, right out of the Naval Academy, and I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what was going on with it.
Can I ask a question? What made y'all decide, we just gonna get married but still be able to date other people? Was that like a decision y'all both made at the same time? Was it did he come bring it to you? Did you bring it to him?
Actually, he come and brought it to me. When we first met and trying to get to know each other, he was, a career, like going back to meeting 16 years ago. And then I went on about my life. And of course, he went on about his life, being in the military. And he never really had any substantiated relationships because, he was always over the world, officer in the Navy. He didn't dare try to date anyone. I was in California and we were talking and we said how much that we truly cared for each other and how it seems like every time when he would come back or whatever, we were always reconnected. It was always seemed like when I finished or ended the dating relationship, he always came back. It was always like that for some crazy.
Y'all had a bond too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then, we started talking about it 3.5 years ago, and we talked about it steadily for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did express because I'm a person of faith, and so growing up in a Christian home, I had those things I was already dealing with.
Yeah.
And I still never reached a level of happiness in my life. Okay? So,
do your family know that you're married to a man, open marriage?
some of them do. My closest ones do.
Okay.
I have 6 siblings, and 3 of them know. All of my kids know, of course, my ex-wife.
Right.
Well, not my ex-wife, my forever wife, as I have to call her. And a lot of my closest friends.
Oh, by the way, his forever wife, me and her have the same birthday. Yes. We born on the same day. See, we can grow. We can be mature.
And it can be a little loony when you
Yes, we are. Okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
And to add another piece onto it is that, the age difference that we have.
Oh.
Okay.
So how many years separate you two?
14.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
You're older and he's young. You're 14 years older than him?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm 53, 39.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, maybe he's close to 40.
And because he always said that he was, and then on top of that, I have a youthful spirit to myself. Often many times my kids ask me, when you going to grow up and act your age? I said, when the wheels fall off.
I'm gonna say that's not old, okay? I'm old, but it's not old. The closer I get to it, the less old it looks.
I know.
Keep it tight.
Yeah. I was told to age but stay young, so you experience knee pain, but I don't mean you gotta act like an old man or old woman.
Right. It's mentality, about it, because it's like, I got some aches and pains. I might not can drop it like it's hot, but I can bend over like it's warm.
Oh my God. Okay, so when he brought you this idea 3.5 years ago to get married and just be in an open marriage, did you immediately say, oh yes, this is a great idea, or did you have any references to it?
Oh, hell no. I was like, boy, what you talking about?
At first you said no, okay.
Right. It's like, just think about it. It was like, he said, I don't have anybody, you don't have anybody, and just think about it. So I said, okay, I think about it. And at the time, I was seeing a therapist.
Okay.
So I brought it to attention to my therapist. And we talked through it. And of course, the therapist is not going to interject their personal feelings on it, but they want to pull what you're feeling and what you're thinking and what it can do. And then he gave me some, information about statistics about it. Like it's, there's like 5% of the world's population is involved in open marriages.
Okay.
5% doesn't seem like a lot, but when you do 5% over the billions of people we have on the planet, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And then when you look at it, a lot of those marriages barely make it to 90%, because a lot of people get in it for the thing of them thinking they can have their cake and eat it too.
Because that would have been my question, like, what really defines an open marriage? Because for me, is it just sex? Because sometimes when people talk about having an open marriage, it's like just having, you and your spouse just agreeing to have sex with other people. Or does it include sex, intimacy, and also sharing a responsibility? Like, what is the open marriage?
It's all of what you make it, and it's all of what you agree for it to be, because you have to set boundaries.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, was that did you all have to talk about boundaries? Because I am aware most open marriages, when you see people that are willing to talk about it, because a lot of couples won't talk about it because it's still pretty taboo, and people are like, oh, you're in that? But it seems to me from the information I've received is that there are boundaries that exist within that open marriage. It's not just a free-for-all, because you still are supposed to respect your spouse within that relationship.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
did you want to talk about, how you guys like establish boundaries? Like, did you all like just did some research, or did you all just talk about who you are as people and what you wanted from the relationship to make you feel still secure in your marriage while you were in an open marriage?
Exactly, and you hit on some key points. Yes, you do have to talk about rules and boundaries. And also, I had to educate him also on just the culture of marriage, because he's never been married before. So that's where we had to start off at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to say what makes us comfortable and what not makes us comfortable. You have to talk about that. You have to talk about expectations. You have to talk about the level of intimacy that you want to save for yourselves and what you are willing to share with someone else. Now, not all open relationships or marriages have to involve sexual activity.
Right.
A lot of it is based upon companionship. And a lot of it is based on financial and contractual agreements.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you too about the benefits that you thought, like, you know what, I'm going to do this because these are the benefits to being in an open marriage. What were they for you?
Yeah, then I was seeking what can make me happy, because I felt that I was under so many restrictions in life and I was not happy. I could not be my authentic self because I was so worried about being what other people expected me to be.
Okay. And that's the most important part, which you just said, searching out what's going to make you happy, not what people expect.
Exactly. And I would tell you this right now, that 3 years later, I'm the happiest that I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
And it was a challenge to get that happiness because I never felt it before. And he was one of the aspects that helped draw that out of me. And again, like there's certain boundaries that we have that we have to let them know. I'm married. This is my situation.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right off the bat. Right up front. You can sit at the bar, somebody talk to, can I buy you a drink? You chit chat, and by the way, I'm married. It's open. What do you think about that? And then we have those conversations, and then before anything happens, I go back and say, look, I just met somebody, this, that, and the other. I let them know what was going on. They cool, They said they could get with that. So, they would say, well, there's certain things that we do that I don't want you to do with them.
Right.
In my head, I'm like, they don't need to be out here like that. But it's about a freedom of expression and being happy with yourself. So then all of that preconception and judgment had left, because I said, how can I be judgmental to someone else when I'm seeking my freedom?
Right.
So that was one of the things he did as a stepping stone for the next thing.
Right.
And the next thing is, it's like, okay, all right. He says, I'm really not interested in being with other people, but if I do, this is what I'm comfortable with. This is what he said. And, to me, and I'm like, okay. And then to add another twist to all of this, he was like, ask the other person if they are willing to hide their identity by a mask or whatever, and if I can see some video.
What? He wanted to watch. He was like, I want to see. But, you can hide your face, but I want to see. Oh, shucks now.
For some people, that is something that they enjoy to watch. They enjoy to see their partner with somebody else. That's something that satisfies them sexually, to be able to see that.
But
so that's not surprising that they may have asked that. And sometimes some people want to be there, to watch live. Not a video, but to watch live. They don't sitting in the corner and just watch.
Each one teach one. I remember you saying that men are visual in a past episode, right? So we have 2 men that are married. So that's like, they want to see everything.
My question is, so the physical aspect, I can see, like, you set boundaries so that you maintain just that marriage intimacy between you? How do you avoid the emotional ties that may come with it? Because even though you're honest with people and say, hey, I'm in an open marriage, it could, I just always wondered, how do you avoid the emotional ties, your ability to express it, in different ways, as long as it's in the confines of what your marriage states that you're able to do it in. So that would make sense that you would say, hey, look, if at any time this becomes something that you want to explore further, I guess the main thing would be to respect the marriage enough to let the other partner know, hey, look, I kept to our boundaries, but this is how I'm feeling, and I would like to explore that further. And that other partner understanding that, okay, we knew it was a possibility because we already discussed that.
It's not like a betrayal. Yeah.
In the open marriage and don't know.
Yeah, that's the difference. But I have a statistic for y'all ladies from Psychology Today. They did a study in 2008 of 1,092 individuals were in open marriages, and it showed that 80 to 90% of them felt happier after entering that swinging lifestyle. So I guess some of them are they come in there and they get happier because they're able to still have other people in their lives and still have the person that they want. I don't know. That's what Jay is saying, that he's never been happier with this person that he's with, and because everything is open. So truth sometimes overrides the emotional aspect of just tell me the truth and we can work this out because I love you. So to me, it kind of makes sense that sometimes that you might be happy in that state, but because of society rules of how this society is and how we're supposed to be, how it's just supposed to be a man and woman married and that's it, that we kind of take on those other feelings of jealousy and emotional discourse of that person being with somebody else instead of sitting back and saying, well, it's making them happy. So maybe, they'll be happier with me. As long as they keep those boundaries, then we're fine. As long as they're truthful, then we're fine. Now, I don't know if I will ever get there, but this is just my opinion of what maybe was happening or why they're happier. Yeah, that's true.
Someone's marriage, for their marriage, may not work for your marriage. I think the main thing is the trust factor, that you have enough trust and honesty with your partner to say, hey, we like Jay said, his partner came to him and said, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I think. Let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. I think the problem comes in when there's a partner that wants to and the other partner is just dead set on even discussing the pros and the cons, and you all come into some type of agreement that either it's for us or no, it's not for us, because that other person still needs to be able to express how they're feeling, even if it's something that you all don't agree to.
Exactly.
Let's talk about. I think the main point is you have to be able to talk about everything with your mate. Otherwise, they'll start sneaking. And then, like you said, you'll be in an open marriage and won't really know that you're in an open marriage because you shut the conversation down before that person could even express how they're feeling.
Yeah, and only that conversation needs to happen before anyone could ask the other person for their hand in marriage.
Yeah,
get married. There's a possibility that I may want to have an open marriage or whatever the case may be, and define what that open marriage means to them. Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
Right.
And I tell anybody that you have to know thyself first.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes on a whole new level of maturity and responsibility. My two daughters, the hell if I tell them, be like, oh, you should try,
No, Jay.
Because
Jay coming out.
That's the daddy.
No, hell no. because it's not fitting them. I don't see where it can fit them, but if they decide to do it, they grow.
Right.
But I'm not out here on a platform to advocate for it or to push it. I'm just saying this is what I've done for me, for my happiness, for myself, and that anyone who has in a conventional marriage or relationship, I am going to support you till life's end in that situation. And even if I know that I have some friends that are having some difficulties, I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to tell them, look, y'all need to work this shit out.
Right.
Okay? And you need to work it out first by being authentically truthful with yourself and with them and talk. Because when you have that truth and you talk, you build upon that relationship. You get that trust. You get that sacrifice. You get that willingness. All those things.
Whoa. Yeah, I agree with you.
I gave it a time bubble. I tried this for 3 years.
Got it.
Oh, you up on that anniversary then of the 3 years almost?
Right. Yes.
So
anniversary March.
So did you say y'all gonna continue to open marriage that way, or did y'all? What was the stipulation for after the 3 years, that y'all would get a divorce after 3 years, or y'all would just make it not open anymore after 3 years?
It's that right now we're still going forward with it, but I told him that I don't think that I can spend my lifetime in it.
Got you.
Okay.
So like a phase.
Basically, because like I was saying, all my life I had to live with a mask on and live for someone else. So right now I'm living for me, doing me, being comfortable, being happy with myself.
Yes.
So this whole thing has been teaching me about me. And I thank him for opening me up to a lot of things that I would not. And also, it's like there's some things that I may have like be passive about, let things go. And then he'll be on the phone with me quick. Nigga, what you talking about? You need to go do da-da-da. I said, but I'm almost old enough to be your daddy. How you talking to me like that?
Okay, I have one last question for you before we go.
Okay.
Can you, if someone is thinking about going into an open relationship or starting, like, what would be your advice to them?
Ask themselves why. Why do they feel like that is going to work for them? And if it's about the physical, then you're being a fool.
It's not about physical. What it's about.
Right off the bat.
Got it.
You know, because there's some people out there that are in open marriages because the other spouse may have had a stroke.
Right.
Okay, that are paralyzed. That are no longer able to function sexually.
Like Jay was saying, that's the part of companionship too. Because if you're depending on the severity of the stroke, you just may not be missing that companionship you want to share with your spouse.
Okay.
So yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other spouse just wanting that person to be happy.
Right.
Yeah, earlier.
Exactly. And going back to the movie Waiting to Exhale, remember the scene where Angela Bassett met?
Yeah, Wesley Snipes. And they just sat there and held each other throughout the night. But his wife had cancer. Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I said it's not for everybody. I'm not advocating it for anyone. I'm not advocating it for anyone. If you got your little one-on-one boo, keep your one-on-one boo and make that strong and ride and die with it.
Thank you so much, Jay, for sharing your story with us and just for being authentic. Because sometimes people come on and, they talk, but it's not really authentic. So thank you for sharing that and opening yourself up to us. And it's going to help somebody. Hopefully it will help somebody. And the advice that you've given will hopefully have someone really think about it, like you said. Because it's not just, one size fits all. So I do appreciate you coming and sharing with us.
If you're married and you're having problems in your marriage, go to someone that is in a good marriage. Got it?
Yes, thank you, Jay. This is Nika Knight, and I really appreciate you coming on here and telling your story. I know it was difficult and you had to think about it, but I appreciate so wholeheartedly. Y'all don't know, he has helped me in different ways to help promote me. We've had long talks, and I just appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story so much.
Okay.
Of open marriages. But thank you so much, Jay.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're all welcome. Happy New Year, and continue to glow up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Peace and blessings.
Yeah, to you too.
All right.
Just to say a little bit more, to give everybody's own opinion about it, as far as open marriage is concerned, I don't know if you felt like you've already said everything you wanted to say, or did you have any more opinions about it, Mr. Selfie?
Well, my only opinion is, he did give me he helped me to reframe my thinking around open marriages, because before, I'm just thinking someone want to keep their wife or their spouse, and they just want to be out there having sex. But, building up on the communication, making sure that not only you, but your spouse is happy as well. It changed my mind a little bit. If that's the case, then you can do that in a friendship. You don't have to say, I do. To me, marriage is sacred. I just feel like it's just sacred, and to involve anyone, either sexually or emotionally, into your marriage has the potential to cause problems. There's nothing wrong with being married and having friends. There's nothing wrong being married and having a friend that you may go out on a date with. But that's just my opinion. You might as well just stay unmarried and do what you want to do until you meet that person that feel comfortable doing everything with. Everything.
How do I see marriage? Definitely a traditional marriage. That is definitely going to be something that works for me and my husband. Definitely not inviting other people in, because again, my whole thing is I just think that it could cause emotional ties that you may not anticipate. But again, like we said, what work in my house may not work in your house. So I'll keep saying that. So as for our house, we're not going there. But again, every marriage has to, and every couple has to make that decision.
All right. I just want to wrap up with a little bit of my opinion as far as maybe pushing to think. Maybe we feel that open marriages is foreign to us because of society, because of how we was raised, because of what we've seen in the past, because of the things that are around us. Like, because I study behavior, it's kind of like, why do I think this way? This is what I ask myself a lot. Why do I think that open marriages is something that's not for me or for somebody else? Like, I can't judge nobody else, but why do I have an opinion and think that it shouldn't be? So I feel like for myself that it's because of what I've seen. It's all about from where I was raised from. So I guess my opinion would be of it right now is like, when I first thought about it, I could say that my initial thought of it before I started digging into myself, I would say 2 years ago, I started trying to learn myself, right? And before trying to learn myself would be like, hell no, open marriages is crazy. They just want to have sex with whoever they want. That's swingers. I wasn't thinking about, men and men marrying, but I was mostly thinking about the women and men, and the men just want to go ahead and do whatever, because women, like each one teach one said, is emotional. And whoever, not everybody, some but not everybody, but when if I'm gonna have sex with somebody, that's gonna emotionally tie me, because to me, not trying to get too graphic, but you have a whole lot of essence. When you're a woman and you having sex with a whole bunch of men, it's a lot of essence, it's a lot of energy, different energies coming into you, and you keep that. Men, they give out energy. They give out. They were meant to give it out all over the world. You know what I'm saying? They give it out. Not to say that if you're married, you should do that, but kind of like these past 2 years kind of changed my perception a little bit of Could I be in an open marriage? I don't think so, because I'm too jealous. But I think that if me and my husband made a decision within our marriage to be like, you know what, maybe we should be able to have people that we can talk to on a daily basis about things, because you know what, I really don't want to hear what's going on right now. Right now I'm busy. So I would say that an open marriage, I kind of sometimes feel like we're not that intimate in talking about intimacy things, like things that's just on my mind. So my opinion about open marriage is that it could be all types of different things, different ways, and it doesn't just have to be sex, because you can have somebody that you feel close to, that you can talk to all the time, but not really want to have sex with them. That's just somebody that you can talk to. And that person is supposed to be your husband traditionally, right? But like I said, in my case, we don't always talk about those intimacy things. Our thing is, are you ready? Okay, you down? All right, we gonna meet at this time and do whatever. Or are the kids, or business, or money, or that's mostly our talk. So I would say 2 years ago, I was so upset because we didn't talk that way, because he's not open. He's not emotionally there. He's not a person that can talk about his emotions or even want to listen to mine. And that was some of the things that I had to learn about myself as well. Is this something that I could be in? Am I okay with this? Why am I not okay with this? Stuff like that. But open marriages is not for everybody. And if it is for you, I'm happy that you're happy. And if it's not, keep it moving. And I want to tell y'all that I want y'all to send us topics that y'all want us to talk about to this new email address we have, which is 3mlo.topics@gmail.com. So if you want a specific topic that you want us to discuss or have an opinion on, please send it to that email. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at 3 Married Ladies Opinions. And our website is www.3marriedladiesopinions with an S. Everything is an S, ends with an S. Ladies, wins with an S, opinions, ends with an S.com. Thank you. Good night. Peace.
Good night. Peace.
Good night.